The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. Thank you for joining us. As always, I'd like to remind you to go to stewart.com/radio. That's right, stewart.com/radio. In case you want to hear this show again or hear our past shows where you can get the information our guests bring forth. Maybe you are driving. I noticed many people ask me, why did you all choose Sunday from 5 to 6 to broadcast the show? And one of the things we did in our research, there's a lot of reasons, but one of them is that there are a lot of people on the road Sundays between 5 or 6 coming back to Houston from a weekend somewhere. Maybe they're enjoying their second home on Lake Livingston, Lake Conroe, Galveston. They may be returning from San Antonio. So it's prime time, a robust time for people to listen and think about real estate as they're coming back from so many places. And sometimes they're going places to start their week. In fact, another reason this is the mighty real estate hour is that people also have looked at homes on a Sunday. They've looked at homes on a Saturday. They're putting information together at the end of Sunday to talk to their realtors. And if you're one of those people driving around right now from a location, a recreational location, or your second home, or visiting friends, you're driving, stay focused on the road. We have the next hour where it's going to be tremendous for you as we have great guests, as always. And we're going to start our show right now as Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title begins right now. We're going to talk about real estate with a husband and wife real estate team right here in Houston, a small hamlet west of the city that's known as Green Trails. We have Amber Stewart and her husband, Dave. Hey, guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank
Thanks,
you
Bill.
for having us.
How did you like that? A small hamlet west of the city.
That's right.
Very poetic.
Well, that describes Green Trails. In fact, and we're going to talk about other places, but what's interesting is that you live there, I live there, and it's also as far west as Houston, to have a Houston address as you can, because
That's right.
what's right around the corner?
Yeah,
Katy.
in Katy, on the
Katy.
other side of the
that's
street.
right.
So
yeah.
Sometimes I tell people I live in Katy just to make it easy for them.
Right. I tell them we live West Houston, Katy school districts.
First of all, Amber, let's tell people about what you and Dave are doing in your company.
Well, we're real estate agents, and I've had my license since 2012. About a year ago, Dave came on. We've had a really fun time. I love real estate. He loves real estate. We're real estate investors as well as agents. We just realized how well we fit together when we do work together. So he came on. He got his bachelor's in math and his master's in finance, and so he kind of sticks to the numbers. Well, he likes to. And I have a Bachelor of Arts, and so in communication arts. So I love to do the marketing. So I do the staging and marketing, and we have a lot of fun playing off of each other's strengths.
Indeed, you do. Let's tell people a little bit more about that role, Dave.
Yeah, so as a numbers guy, I love doing the research. I love digging into comps and trends, as well as just what's the individual client looking for, whether that's just looking for a great place to live and wanting a great school district, or whether that's an investment property as well. We have a lot of investor clients as well that love to get into the numbers and figure out not only how is this house going to affect me right now, but over the next 10 years, what is that going to look like?
That's valuable information for both buyers and sellers, indeed. And I mentioned Green Trails already many times. Amber, how would you describe Green Trails, let's say to someone that is in the Heights or even in another city that's never been there? What would they find?
Well, we love green trails. It's just this little pocket. We loved it when we first moved back to Houston because we realized how close it was to the energy corridor, and you can get to Houston quickly, but you're surrounded by lots of great restaurants and fun things to do. But it's literally green. That's one of the things that also attracted us. Yes, it's so beautiful. We were living in North Dakota at the time that we were moving back, and we thought we want trees. And so that beautiful coverage when you drive into green trails is just something that was super attractive to us.
That's the most common comment that we get when people come to our house is how the trees canopy over the streets as you come into the neighborhood. It's such a beautiful effect.
Yes, they do. In fact, even I think the hidden thing about green trails, in my experience, when I mention it to people and as I've been living there, the drive up, almost any exit you take, you could take Greenhouse Road, Barker, Cypress Road, and you take those the drive up into the neighborhood is very beautiful, very mature trees, and yes, they are green.
Yes. And we love that it's a community you can get out of quickly. So we've lived in a community where it took us like 15 minutes to get out of the actual community before we hit the highway we were going to actually drive on. But this one is just tucked away in a perfect little location where you can get to I-10, you can get to Fry quickly, you can get out onto Barker Cypress. So we love it.
And also the trails are so great. There's miles of trails you can walk or ride down. There's always people out. We've been out at all times of day and night, and there's always people walking their dogs or taking a jog or whatever they're doing. It's a great neighborhood for that.
Some people like your radio host, in fact, right, Dave? That's how we scheduled this little event right now. In fact, it was funny. I was walking my two dogs. There's Dave and Julia.
Our daughter, yes.
And it's still dark, and you guys kind of came up to me. I thought I was going to be mugged in green trails by how old is Julia?
14.
She's 14.
Yeah, I thought, well, that would have been a first. There's Julia.
Yeah.
But she was promoting her pet sitting business. So, right. Julia, if you're listening, hello. And yes, I still need you to take care of my two canines.
Yes.
But in the meantime, you're right. Not only are there trails close by to all the homes, but there's choices of trails, and they extend as far as you're ready to go. Yeah,
that's right. You could go to George Bush Park if you wanted to.
That's right.
So they interconnect. So
yes.
The activity, the real estate activity in green trails, let's talk about it. Someone might be listening and say, you know what, I didn't think about green trails. How much are the homes? Can I get one? Can I call Amber Stewart to get that job done?
Yes, I would be happy to help you. So in green trails, since the beginning of the year, the market is hot, just like the rest of Houston. And we've sold 97 homes. The average home is selling for, what did we say today when we looked at the numbers?
About $440,000, which is $143 a square foot.
Yeah, as an average. But the prices, of course, vary. A lot of the homes in green trails are pretty comparable to each other, which is nice. We don't have a ton of huge homes and a ton of small homes, but you can move into our neighborhood from anywhere, like $140 a square foot to maybe $155 a square foot, just depending on how the home has been updated and the improvements that they've done to it.
Or not
done, yes.
Because these homes, I don't know, I can't speak for others, but a lot of them are like 1993 they were built. In fact, mine was, and some do not have the updated bathrooms or kitchens, so that's one of the pricing considerations.
That's right. Ours was built in 1991, and I think probably half of our neighbors are original owners. So it's just, did they like what they originally put in, or did they decide over the years they want to update it? I know that they all have taken care of their homes meticulously well, but they may have not updated their homes to make it look like a current 2021 home. So,
in fact, that's one of the things I would add is that there's a uniformity and a level of care that people take of their homes. And I will speak for my little section, and I would think it's the same with yours. I have great neighbors. And when every now and then I think about moving, I'm thinking about, what about Gary? Man, this guy across the street, Gary's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Jim, and Jerry, and Mary. So it's really a nice little group of people, friendly, in fact.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That was one of our favorite things, honestly, not to... during when COVID hit and we all had to stay home all the time, that was one of our favorite things, was we got to know our neighbors better. We got to see them. It was kind of like Leave It to Beaver Land, where everybody was outside biking and walking, and they still do, not as much as when the heat front comes through for summer. They kind of start to hibernate a little bit, but we still see people quite a lot in green trails, so that's one of our favorite things.
And those youngsters that are listening to the show, Leave It to Beaver was a television show that was very popular, and check it out on YouTube.
Yes.
I think it was a great show, right?
Right.
So there are homes to buy. If someone wanted to buy a home in Green Trails, that's possible. What if someone's listening here from the neighborhood that says, hey, Amber, I want to go somewhere else? What are you telling the sellers there right now in the Green Trails area?
Well, the seller's market is really hot. Houses are selling at an average of 30 days. And if you think about that, that's the time that it goes pending until the time that it closes. So if a closing takes about 35 to 40 days, that means that the house is going under contract almost immediately.
Couple days.
Yeah. So, if you do have to move out of state, or you're looking to work remotely, so you're not going to live in the city anymore and you want to move out a little bit farther, your house is going to go quick as long as you follow your real estate agent's advice to get it ready.
And this is the time in the market, whether you're buying or selling, listen to your realtor, because you need that information, and there's so many new things going on. Also, as far as things go, Dave, you are, again, the analytical sort. You're helping Amber and the team. Give us an idea of some of the other things that you've found in your studies of Green Trails or anywhere else in the marketplace out there.
Sure. So one of the things that I love about our team is that Amber is a professional stager. She's a certified home marketing specialist. We've noticed that staged homes sell faster and for more than empty homes or homes that are cluttered, if you will. So that is a great thing that you can do, is to get your house staged for great pictures and great experience when people walk in. The other things to look at are, do you have a pool or not? Are you looking for a pool? That's going to make a significant difference in prices. And then floor plan, you can't do a whole lot about it if you have a house right now. You can't change your floor plan. But if you're looking at a floor plan and you want to think about resale value, the different types of floor plans with like a master bedroom on the first floor versus a second floor, those things make a pretty significant difference in price later on down the road.
Interesting. Now, I've always been a fan of, I like having the bedroom upstairs. Just saying, even from a safety standpoint, I've heard people say that's a safer way, but I just like having activities separated. No extra charge, for my opinion, but that's what it is. I believe that. In the meantime, what other areas are you covering that you want to speak about right now, Amber?
So we love working all over West Houston. So we lived in Spring Branch for a while. We know that area well. We love working there. We work out in Fulshire and Brookshire. We also go a little bit south in Richmond and even sometimes Rosenberg areas. But we like to stick to the west side if we can, although I do have a listing coming up in the middle of Houston. So we're pretty versatile.
Once again, when you leave Green Trails, it's easy to be downtown in about 25 minutes with low traffic. I can be at this radio station at 610 at San Felipe, 23, 24 minutes. That's why that Green Trails is such a hidden gem. You could get out quick, get back in, and you're in the trees. Give us a word about investing. You said you guys are investors as well. You must really love real estate. So tell us a little bit about your investment things that you do. Maybe it inspires others.
Yeah, absolutely. So we generally try to find great deals and then fix them up, and we rent them out generally. But we know people that are looking for fix and flip or buy and hold strategy. Just depends on what your strategy is. They are. The thing in Houston that a lot of people are considering is, what does the future value of the house look like? So many investors are willing to buy a house with no equity after repair value because they know that they're going to gain equity over the next 10 years as they hold it. So they get the rent up. They get the cash flow going, and then when they're ready to sell in 10 or 15 years, then they know they're going to make a profit.
Another really interesting investment to think about nowadays is, if you're not in an HOA that restricts you, is Airbnb properties. We see a lot of people leaning towards owning and operating Airbnbs in a lot of different faculties, and we find it very interesting. And when you run the numbers, it really can be a really good investment.
Well, that's awesome. Before we close the segment, what else should people know?
Well, Amber is a has an art about connecting people and houses. If you're a buyer, and she just has this amazing ability to get to know you as a person, and so many times I've seen her say, you really need to check out this neighborhood or that neighborhood or this kind of house. And they say, oh, okay, I'm not sure, I'll think about it. And then sure enough, that's the house they get and they love it. And it's just always a great connection. So she just has a really great knack for buyers, and her ability to stage and market for sellers is also really great.
We're just a great team, and we'd love to help people.
Well, he should be your ambassador
Yeah, I
there,
know,
Amber.
right?
He did a good job.
I know.
I want him on my side.
I know, yeah.
Let's tell people, before we tell people how to reach you, you have 2 children.
5.
We have 5.
Oh, okay. Give
Yeah.
us the names of the other 4 real quick. I don't want anyone to feel
Lydia,
bad.
Sage, Evelyn, and Malachi.
And Julia.
And Julia.
And how can
Yes.
people reach you?
So you can give us a call, 832-713-6284. And my husband's number is 701-260-5110. Also, you can email us, amberstewart@kw.com.
Amber Stewart, 832-713-6284. Thank you guys for being on the show.
Yes,
Thanks so
thank you
much,
for
Bill.
having us.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Let's welcome Teresa Strong. Her organization is Bell Inizio, and we're going to find out what that is right now. Teresa, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, it's a wonderful name. It has a ring to it, Bell Inizio, right? Did I say it?
You said it perfectly.
I'm getting there. So let's tell people what that is. It's a very important organization that you started. What is it?
Bell Inizio means beautiful beginning, and we are a nonprofit that helps disadvantaged women learn to set goals, build confidence, and complete a 5K race.
That's a tall order right there.
It absolutely
Especially the
is.
5K race. So as far as the organization, you're helping women, and as far as ages, what's the range of the age of women that you're helping?
Our women range from about 20 years old all the way up through their 50s. A majority of our women are in their early 30s, but we've had very young women and more mature women.
As far as some of the things that are challenges for these women that you're helping, give us a range and a picture of what that looks like.
Most of our women live in transitional housing or in shelters. These are women that are in recovery from abuse, alcohol, and drugs. Many have criminal backgrounds. Some are still serving their criminal sentences, and a lot of our women have children.
Wow. As far as now, are some homeless? Were homeless? You're talking about some incarcerated. So there's a range. And if someone is homeless, they go into transitional housing, and then that's where you come in to help. Am I understanding that right?
Absolutely. Many of our women have been homeless at some point in their life, and they are in stable housing now, whether it's in single room occupancy like at Bridget's Hope, or it could be in more dormitory style places like Angela House, but they are no longer on the street, which is a terrific blessing.
It certainly is. And then they have a lifeline, if you will, as in your organization. But one of the things I want to hit upon, that their homelessness is a major problem all over, maybe the world, but certainly in the United States. We see that here in Houston, people driving by. But it sounds like it's good to know there are places that are the places you mentioned are in Houston that someone can go to if they need help to have a place to live. Is that right?
Absolutely. That's exactly right.
What's the name of those places again?
Well, we have Angela House. Angela House specializes in helping women transition literally from getting out of jail or prison back to their regular life. Bridget's Hope is another good organization. That is for women that are over 30 years old, have had challenges in their life, and have been sober for a certain amount of time. Of course, everyone in Houston knows about the Star of Hope. Star of Hope takes people directly off the street and helps put them on their feet. And the Women's Home is another great organization that helps women move from the streets, from jail, through a good recovery to a beautiful future.
And you started this organization. Give us an idea of the inspiration. What gave you the idea, and how many years have you been around?
Bella Inizio's been in business 11 years, and it started as a result of a difficult period in my life. I had a great job at a venture capital company, wonderful husband, house in the suburbs, and Tom, my husband, was diagnosed with brain cancer and died shortly thereafter. And then the venture capital company went bankrupt. So in the course of 2 months, the bottom fell out of my world. As I was trying to get back on my feet, I started running, and I started volunteering at homeless shelters. And when I realized the difference that setting that goal of doing a run every day did to me, how it helped me, I thought I could bring that inspiration to people at shelters. But the organizations didn't have that. They thought it was a great idea. Empirically, we know it's a good idea. Confidence builds for the future. Setting goals like fitness builds for the future, but it wasn't available. And that is how Bella Inizio ended up being born.
Well, a couple things. One, in 2 months, your life changed dramatically. You didn't see it coming, but 2 months later, there it was. But how did you know to do two of the most important things, like whatever level that we sink to in our lives, because it goes up and down. Some people struggle with depression and mood swings, all these things. But two of the things that are to combat those are exercise and helping others. How did you know to do that?
I was raised in a family where we always were taught to give back. When we were very young, we would go out at Halloween trick-or-treating, and at the end of the night, there were 5 kids. We had to put our candy in 2 different piles, and then my dad would come by and pick one of those piles to give to less fortunate children. And of course, the hard part was he picked the piles, so you couldn't do like the black licorice pile and the good stuff pile.
I love licorice.
Oh, sorry.
And red licorice, but anyway.
So we were always raised to actively give back our time and our resources. And I also just knew from my personal experience that by getting out of the house and moving, I could clear my head and I could stop living in the bubble that was Teresa and start exploring other options in the world. And that's exactly what we teach our women.
It's interesting. Years ago, I was going through a tough time. I don't know, a couple decades. Not that I haven't had a tough time since. However, one of the first things I did was help at a shelter. And I remember it was, as we're coming upon Thanksgiving, my son and I went to a shelter, helped out, and that feeling, I forgot all my problems.
Yep.
For weeks. So let's tell people how they can help. If they want to help, someone's listening out there, whether they're right here in Houston, they may be listening in another state, on the internet, or whatever. How can people help your organization?
Year-round, as we move away from COVID, individuals can help volunteer while we work out with our women. Just walking and running with our women will show the women that you care and that you want to help them achieve a future. We have a great race coming up, our Giving Thanks 5K, 10K on November 20th in Sugar Land Memorial Park. By coming out and walking or running with us, it makes a huge difference to us financially, helps us support our fall programs, and you may get to meet some of our graduates.
And not only that, the idea of support, doing things with others and making the women that are part of the run feel good.
Absolutely.
So as far as what you see when someone's been through your program years later or however long, how long is it till you see the results? And tell us what that looks like a little bit.
We see results over the long term, but we also can see results in the course of a program. We just finished the program at Angela House and had a young woman that complained the whole time that she couldn't do the workouts. She couldn't do the walks. She barely made it through half the workouts. But come race day, she decided she could do a 5K. No one else thought she could, but she knew she could in her heart. And she crossed that finish line crying and knowing she had achieved something that she didn't ever believe she could do. And we see that time and time again. And when you know you've done something that hard, you take that success to the next level. You take it when you get out of the shelter. You use those skills to stay sober. It's amazing. It's life-changing.
You use it in all the categories of your life, or it certainly has the opportunity to transfer to the other things that we do in life. And some of those things are hard, are professions. Some of these people, I'm sure, have challenges sometimes finding a job.
Absolutely.
You mentioned people that are in prison. An employer may say, oh, you've been in prison? I don't know. How does that
exactly
work?
Right. It's very hard. And we have partners that can specifically address these challenges with women. But our part of it is when they learn those skills for writing the resume, when they have the job skills to go out in the job, we give them the confidence to interview and meet people's eyes and shake their hands, which is something that can matter as much as what's written down on a piece of paper. If they believe they can do it, the employers will as well.
And as far as financial help, if someone wants to help out financially, what can they do?
There's two main things they can do. We are always looking for sponsors for our Giving Thanks 5K, 10K. It puts your name out to the community. It helps support us, and it shows how much you care. But secondarily, we love sustaining donors. We call them our Bell Inizio champions. And if you go on our website and sign up to give us $25, $50, $100 a month, that is money we can count on to grow our programs, but it is also matched every single month by one of our partner foundations.
And here in Houston, Texas, there's a lot of people, a lot of real estate professionals, especially now, doing very well, and others. I mean, economically, our city is a tremendous city for individuals, and for the women that you're helping, it's also a great launching pad when they are ready to go out into the marketplace because, I mean, there are other great cities financially and opportunity-wise, but ours is one of the best. People are coming from far and wide to capture the opportunities that are right here in Houston and the surrounding areas.
Absolutely. We're so proud to be part of the Houston community and so grateful for all our Houston partners.
We're talking with Teresa Strong with Bell Inizio, the race for a better life. Teresa, any other events coming up that we should know about? And let's tell people your website. You probably put that stuff on there.
Our website is www.bell-inizio.org, INIZIO.org. And you're always welcome to call and text me at 832-247-5308. And please keep us in mind for Giving Tuesday. That's at the end of November and a chance for you to give back to your favorite charities. I hope we'll become one of them.
And the phone number again is?
832-247-5308.
And Teresa, do you think any of these ladies are listening to the show right now?
Absolutely.
And those that are, we encourage you, stay motivated, keep running, work out, get your mind right, and listen to Teresa.
We're proud of you.
Thanks for being on the show. Teresa Strong with Bell Inizio.
Thank you.
Here in Houston, Texas, and even other cities, it's hot. It's humid. Now, maybe if you're out in Arizona, it's hot and dry, but we depend on our AC systems and our heaters too. To me, it's life support. We have two gentlemen here right now. The owner of the company is Enrique Mendez. The company is Mega AC. He is here with Sebastian Ocampo. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Bill.
How you doing?
Enrique. So there you are. You came to my house to repair my air conditioner. Here you are on the radio, Enrique. What about that?
It's a crazy ride.
Yeah, I know.
It really is. In fact, you were recommended to me by a good friend of mine, Jeremy Good, who may be listening right now to the show. But it is important. The air conditioner, especially the air conditioner, is such an important thing in our homes, whether it's a brand new home or otherwise. Enrique, give us an idea. How long has your company been in business?
It's been since 2015.
2015.
Got my license in 2003 and decided to go on my own in 2015.
Let's take the air conditioning system, for example. It's to the homeowner that doesn't know anything about it. It's kind of a complicated system. What are some of the common things that when people call up, they say, hey, Mega AC, Enrique, my air conditioner's not cooling. What are some of the things you think about right there when you hear that before you go to the home?
First thing that I ask him is, have you changed your filter? How long?
And that's really important.
Mm-hmm. Another thing is, how long it's been running without cooling?
So in other words, sometimes it's running, they'll hear the motor's running, but when they reach up to the vent, it's
not
warm.
cooling. Mm-hmm.
So that tells you something.
I make him a couple of questions. After that, if they cannot fix it through the phone, then I'll go and we schedule a call and go and check it out.
And let's tell people the area that you cover here in Houston geographically. Like I'm in the Katy area, we'll say you're covering that.
Katy, Cypress, Stafford, Sugarland, Richmond, Rosenberg.
And what about when we have homes that are built earlier years like the 90s, like mine, versus some of the homes that are brand new homes? You still go to brand new homes still have some problems too, I'm guessing.
Yes, a lot. Most of the time, people think when they move, they don't know how long they should be changing their filters, or sometimes they have a filter up in the attic, a meter filter.
Let's tell people what happens if you don't change your filters. I bet there's people that just don't even think about it. You run into that. What happens if you don't change it?
We've been in houses that it's been running for 2 years without changing their filters because they don't know they have one. That's why they need an AC company to go and check out their
And
system.
why is that a bad thing? That's a long time, but why is it bad to not change your filters?
Well, it's going to build up mildew, can build up some mold, and it's just going to be constantly running and spending money and a lot of money on electricity.
So you're wasting money, and then it's working the machine, I guess, really hard. Sebastian, let's give it an idea for people, your role with the company, because you were at my house doing an installation, but
Exactly.
let's tell people what you do.
Well, he hired me as an AC technician. When I started off with the company, I didn't know how to do anything. I was just his helper, taking his tools, doing this for him. But then slowly throughout the years, he taught me how to check the units, how to troubleshoot, how to charge units properly, everything that I needed to know so I could do it on my own. That's why, I can go to your house and confidently install a new thermostat or tell you what's wrong with the unit because, I was taught very well with Enrique.
And when you talk about charging the unit, one of the things I know even as just a homeowner is through the years, one of the reasons it doesn't cool is that it's low on a refrigerant. And refrigerants have changed through the years.
Yes.
How do you keep your head around that, or what should people know about that?
So it just, right now, the refrigerant that's mostly on new houses is the R410 refrigerant. It's a very high-pressure refrigerant, so that's why you've seen a lot of trouble with new houses. Because of the high pressures, it leaks out a lot. But it doesn't matter. Even with old houses, you can still always convert to the new refrigerant.
Well, as far as let's change gears as we're hopefully going to get cooler here coming up in November, December, people may be turning on their heaters.
Correct.
For the first time, and that's always fun. Is there anything we can do for our heating system in advance to make sure that it's going to be in good shape when we turn it on that first time?
Well, we would always recommend just contacting an AC company first because we have devices that can measure carbon monoxide levels, and which is very important. You don't want to be breathing any of that or any gas leaks in the lines. We make sure we check all that. And safety devices, because you don't want your house to blow up on fire, right?
Of course
so
not.
it's always very important to check for all that stuff.
And you have an AC or a heating checkup that you do before we get really cold.
Yes.
So you check out all those things.
Yeah, we make sure we check all that stuff out, and we don't just look at it ourselves. We show the customer our carbon monoxide detector. We go all over the house with them. So it's not just us confidently saying, "Oh, it's good."
You show them the instruments.
We show them the instruments.
So that way you know. And so it sounds like it's a good idea. I remember I've turned my heater on in the winter, and there's always some kind of a smell.
Yes.
What is that, Enrique? What am I smelling?
That
is my house
smell-
ready to blow up?
No. What it is when the fire comes on the burners, the heater, it's just burning all the debris that stays on the evaporator coils.
So all the
And
dust and
that's what you smell.
particulate matter.
After like few hour, an hour, it's gonna go away.
So that's
But
good.
it's always good to check it before that. If you sometimes, I think this coming weekend is gonna be kind of cool.
I hope so.
And if you turn it on, if it doesn't come on at all, just turn it off and call someone.
Well, there's
Call
a tip
me.
right there. Yeah, so if you turn on the heater and nothing happens, because remember, it's been dormant for months and months, don't mess around with it because it could be trouble on the heating. Call your company. That company is Mega AC, Enrique Mendez. That's all they have to do, right, Enrique?
Yes.
I have the number right here. How about 832-868-5196?
You can call me or text me.
Call or text. One of the things, and let's look ahead for next summer. I know this year I didn't have a preseason tune-up on my AC. Probably should have, but is that recommendable? And what do you do to check out the AC system before the real hot weather comes?
Well, we do, once we get the house, turn them on, check the Freon level, check the water, the condensate pipes. They can get clogged like over the winter when the AC is not working. And once you turn it on, it's going to start clogging the lines. So we check that.
And are those the pipes that drip out the side of your house?
That's the emergency. If it's already dripping through there, you need an AC company to go check it.
So
because the main drain is clogged already.
So right there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it usually evaporator coils would drain 3 to 5 gallons of water a day. So you don't want 3 to 5 gallons of water a day just staying there in your drain pan, secondary drain, because it'll go on your ceiling. It'll create a worse problem. So it's always, whenever you see water outside of your house dripping, it's always good to call an AC company to clean that out so you can avoid all that hassle.
That sounds good. Now, one of the things that you did for me, and in fact it was Sebastian right here that came to my house, I'm sure there's a lot of people listening right now that have the smart thermostats. I happen to have the Nest.
Yes.
And Sebastian, you installed one on my upstairs part of the AC unit.
Correct.
And then a couple weeks later, after watching you, I did that on the downstairs myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's tell people about those smart thermostats a little bit. They're kind of fun. I've been tracking mine, so as you know, it's a lot of fun.
Smart thermostats are amazing, for anyone who's either busy or at home. They help with energy efficient. You can check how much energy you're using. And just depending on which smart thermostat you have, they say that you can save up to 10 to 15% on your electricity bill. So it's a very good investment.
Well, and right now for listeners, this may be the highlight of the show, but I've been tracking both my upstairs and downstairs unit, and it surprises me how much they actually work. Mm-hmm. And October hasn't been the hottest month, but just to give you an idea, on my Microsoft Excel sheet, so far as of this date, both ACs have been running 82 hours a total. The upstairs has been running for 55 hours, and the downstairs about half that much. So if someone takes the time to track that, they get an idea of the trends and maybe ways they can improve insulation or some of these other things and not have your unit run that much and also stay comfortable. Mm. Yeah, they're super fun.
Oh, they're amazing. I love installing them. And show me.
Yeah, I saw it when you were doing it. You're actually smiling.
Yeah, no,
I love
it.
having too much fun.
Yeah.
In the meantime, before we close the segment, what else should people know, Enrique?
You can call me megaaircoolingandheat.com.
megaaircoolingandheat.com. That's one way. Of course, the phone number is 832-868-5196, 832-868-5196. And one of the things I'll say and offer is that you return calls, you'll return texts. You really tried to help me before you did any work or really came to my house. I like that, but you do return the phone calls, and that's a big plus over some of the other companies I've dealt with. Sebastian, if they want to reach you, same number?
Yes, same number. Just ask for me, and I'll be on my way to install a smart thermostat.
There you go. That's what I recommend. 832-868-5196. Yes. Gentlemen, Mega AC. Gentlemen, thanks for being on the show. And your daughter, thank you, Dora, for being here on the show as well.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance, with a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers. Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Once again, here he is, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance.
Hi, Bill. Nice to be with you as always.
Well, it's super awesome. In fact, I was driving back from Cold Springs listening to the show, and I was hearing your voice. This whole thing sounded so professional. I surprised myself, and in hearing your voice, it was a tremendous insurance segment. It was all the better.
Well, trying to be modest, but it is the kind of the icing on the cake is the insurance segment.
People love it.
People love it.
Especially when they're driving back home to Houston after being away for the weekend or when they're leaving.
Absolutely.
It's very versatile.
And what show number are we on now?
398.
398. So
we're approaching 400.
Yeah, we are. You've gotten really good at this.
I'm trying. So here we are once again. They await driving wherever they are in front of the computers. Insurance always brings an excitement.
Well, we've talked a lot this year about cyber liability and cyber threats, and we spent the last couple of weeks talking a little bit about how our own brains can get in our way and allow these cyber fraudsters to affect our businesses. But the thing that's a little scary now is we've talked quite a bit about ransomware and the fact that these cyber fraudsters will encrypt your data and hold it hostage until you're willing to pay a ransom on it. But they've got a new twist that started last year that I just came across that's really scary. Basically what they want to do is pay us, or they're going to release your data out on the web. So before on the ransomware was pay us or you're not going to have access to the
Never
data.
see it again.
Never see it again.
Like a kidnapping.
Yes. Now it's you'll never see it again, or if you do, you'll see it again on the web. So we're going to release it out. So your social security number, your date of birth, your address, maybe an account number, passwords, all that could be out, whether it be your partners or your employees or your clients or your prospective clients. They'll all put that out on the web unless you pay the ransom.
Both are equally troubling and disturbing. I will just back up a second and say when we think about things being held hostage, I don't know, maybe it's because I watch too many movies, but there's always a white panel van that we get kidnapped in if that happens. Just saying.
Well, there's somewhere on the internet, there's that white panel van that's trying to sneak into your computer system or your company's computer system. And, it's really sad because, they not only are they affecting you, but now they're truly affecting your clients. This really kind of came about the first part of 2020, and through the second quarter of 2021, something like 81% of any of these ransomware attacks have had this pay us or we'll release the data aspect on it as well. So it's there as you've rightly pointed out throughout the years, as we get smarter about it, the criminals get even smarter, or they get even more creative.
They never rest. And not only that, we talk about the mind, how that could work against us, but we also brought forth last week the idea that, yes, these people, in many cases, if not all, are technically savvy, but also they're masters at psychology because they're figuring out which plan to implement for the various things that they're doing. So that makes it scary.
They really are. It's as you said before, you almost wonder what good they could do if they had a legit business or a legit career, or they focused their energies and their intelligence on something that would help society versus hurt society. The other scary thing from a reputation perspective is if you're not willing to pay the ransom or you're delaying in paying the ransom, they'll call the people that they have the data on. So, for example, if your and my name was on a list and they were holding a company ransom and they were wanting to get that ransom paid, or they're going to release the data on the web, and we were delaying, or the person that had our information, they would call Bill Knapik or they would call John Bramlett and say, or email us and say, we have your information now. We got it through XYZ company. If they don't pay the ransom, we're going to release this on the web. So you better convince them to release this information. So now you've got customers or clients, prospective clients, calling you saying, "What the heck's going on? Are you going to pay that ransom?" So I mean, they really are devious.
And the brazen, they're going to call you, and you're going to probably hear that voice, that modified deep, right?
Yes, exactly.
Again,
yes,
back to the movies.
From the van. Yes, they'll
but
call
nothing
you.
funny about it.
No,
when
it's
it happens.
not.
If that's happening to your company or you as an individual with those kind of threats, I'm sure it has to be frightening.
Oh, it is, because I mean, you're looking at a loss of income. You're looking at the cost to notify people that are affected. Because if it is happening, it's better that they hear it from you than from that scary voice or that scary email. The cost to recover your data, that's going to be an issue there. The cost to repair your computer systems, that's an issue. So those are all things that you've got to be concerned about.
Well, what do we do about it, John?
Well, I mean, there's some things you can do yourself, whether it be, how you change your passwords, how you manage your passwords. Do you require multi-authentication on your email? Do you have a process in place? For example, if you're in the title business or the real estate business, do you have documentation that tells your clients, this is how we're going to make any changes? This is how we're going to notify if an account changes, and that you get them to sign that so that they're aware of what's going on. The other way would be to look at a cyber liability policy to protect you from some of those expenses. So you're going to have a forensic investigation. Where did that leak come from? Was it our responsibility? So, do you have some help in the coverage of the cost of that? There's going to be some litigation expenses. You're going to get sued. So what are those defense expenses? Are you going to get fined from a regulatory agency based upon what's happened? There are going to be crisis management expenses. We talked about this idea of having to notify people, your clients, that this has happened and this is what we're doing about it. Or if there's a damage to your reputation, what do you do to try to repair the reputation of the firm? Business interruption. So is there any support if you're away from running your business because you're having to deal with this, or you're having to be in court? Is there some ways that at least maybe the coverage can help with some of those costs? And then just extortion aspect that we just talked about, or protecting that network. So those are some of the things that a cyber liability policy can help with.
Well, that's a great thing. They can get a cyber liability policy at Stewart Insurance, I hear.
Yes, they can. We have highly qualified insurance advisors that work with our clients on a daily basis, helping them with their cyber coverage, helping them with professional liability, workers' compensation, all different business policies, business owners policy, commercial liability, commercial property, that just make sure that our clients are properly insured.
And that's the beauty of when you call Stewart Insurance, it's tailor-made. We would describe what we need. You tell us what's available. We go back and forth with the associate, and we get properly insured, which is the main goal.
Absolutely. So whether you're looking to buy insurance for your home or your car, or you're looking at insurance to protect yourself against a ransomware attack, we're going to take the same process. We're going to spend some time with you, learn about your business, learn about your concerns. How much risk do you want to take on as an individual or as a corporation versus how much risk you want to put towards the insurance company? And from that, we will build the plan that ensures that you are properly insured, whether it's the most robust or the most conservative or the smallest. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that you're comfortable with the coverage that you have.
You said the word plan. This is a tremendous planning time of year. You know it is. I mean, here we are at the end. We always evaluate and we think about what lies ahead. A tremendous planning time. Get your Excel spreadsheets out. Do some crunching. It's a fun time.
Absolutely. When you're finished analyzing how you're using your insurance your air usage and that great digital.
The Nest thermostat.
Nest thermostat.
Oh,
once you quit analyzing your Nest thermostat, you might want to take a look at your insurance expenses and what's been covered and what are you worried about and what changes have taken place within your family or your business that would cause you to maybe reevaluate your insurance and have that conversation with your insurance advisor.
It all goes hand in hand. Before we close the segment, John, what else should we know?
Well, if you truly want to be properly insured,
I do.
Well, and you are a good customer of ours, by the way. Whether it be for your family and your personal insurance or your business as a real estate broker, realtor, property management firm, mortgage banker, title or attorney agent, we would be happy to help. You can reach us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. Learn more about us online at stewartinsurance.com or email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
The phone number again is
866-798-2827.
And I want to remind people, you're helping people with their insurance needs all over the United States. You may have a home in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Absolutely.
Just call.
Just 866-798-2827. You could have a business in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, or Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and we can help as well.
There you go. Thank you, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance.
Always a pleasure, Bill.
As we get ready to close down the show, here we have several of our guests here. Amber Stewart. Amber, welcome back to the show. What else should people know before we close the show down?
Well, I do have a great website if you'd like to check it out. It's amberstewartrealestate.com. You can find more information about Dave and I there. And again, if you need our number, it's 832-713-6284.
Amber, are you still doing the newsletters that go out there in the Green Trails area?
Yes, I have one that's, we're putting it out this week actually. So we put one out every quarter.
And the phone number again is?
832-713-6284.
Thank you so much, Teresa Strong with Bell Inizio. Teresa, welcome back to the show. What else should we know before we close things down here?
Your listeners should know that in these difficult times, it is not hard to make a difference and give a woman the start of a beautiful life. Follow us at bell-inizio.org. Come out to our Giving Thanks 5K, 10K, and consider making a donation.
Your number again is?
832-247-5308.
And just in case someone forgot what Bell Inizio means.
Beautiful beginning.
That sounds great, and it's also very inspiring.
It is. Thank you.
Thank you for being on the show. Here he is with Mega AC, Sebastian. Sebastian, welcome back. Here we are. People are getting ready to have their thermostats installed and everything else. But you guys are honest and you respond quick. That's what I like. Before we close, what else should people know?
If you want to contact us about your AC checkups or heating checkups, you can go to our website, megaaircoolingandheat.com, at megaaircoolingandheat.com, or call us at 832-868-5196. Or if you have any questions about your AC unit, things that you can do to prevent, just let us know and we'll help you out.
Sounds like you said 832-868-5196. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Knapik, together with John Bramlett. All of us at Stewart Insurance, Stewart Title. For your next real estate transaction, don't forget about us, Stewart Title. We are all over the Houston area with tremendous business development people. In addition, we're outside of the Houston area around the United States. In fact, an international company traded on the New York Stock Exchange as STC. And one more thing, as we want to help people on this show, our business development person, as I mentioned, right there in Galveston, Texas, our first location over 127 years ago. That's right. That's where we started. We are now an international company, but Maggie Green, we like to help out the Galveston Humane Society. She had an event there this week to help out the animals right there in Galveston, Texas. It's not too late to help. If you want to, you can drop off any kind of donations. Inquire with Maggie. That's Maggie Green. Like the color. Our original office is also very historic, as I said, 222 Kempener Street in Galveston, Texas, right in the heart of Galveston. That's Stewart Title, Galveston, Texas, or call Maggie at 409-356-3981. That's 409-356-3981. There's a lot of dogs, cats, and other animals that need help. Once again, thanks for listening. Stewart.com/radio. Stewart.com/radio. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening, and drive safely if you're driving.
Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. stewartinsurance.com.